Yo, what's up? Today, I should say, on our podcast, it's the Injekt podcast. It's the Hustlers podcast. We have one of my cousins, the one and only Paul Anthony, aka Game Mark.
What's up, guys? How we doing today?
What's up, man?
What's up?
So for those who don't know, let me give a little backstory on this. I used to DJ. Well, I mean, I started DJing about 8 years ago, and I never really took it serious like that. I've always had it. It was more of a side little hustle. If I ever got a gig, I got a gig. It was more. I played it by ear. I wasn't really advertising myself or taking the social media like seriously.
Yeah, I remember you used to do it a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I had
day.
a social media and all that, but I wasn't really pushing it, you know. And and you are the one as recently as this beginning of this year that you kind of low key just lit a fire under my ass, and you started like. I came to you. You came to me last year in November for a party, and or at a party. You were kind of low key helping me, and you were like, hey, whenever you need any help, you should hit me up.
At first, it was a joke in the beginning. That was a while ago, though.
Oh man, you should have just left that out and not even told me. Nah, but I took it serious because it's hard out here to find help.
Well, complete honesty, it was a joke because I thought you already had it like figured out. I was like, oh, he already got his stuff. You've been doing it for how long? By then, for a long time. So I just figured you already like figured everything out. So I was like, he's good. He got it.
Nah, but in reality, I didn't. In reality, I was just doing
I had no idea.
That would just come at me, and I wasn't really pursuing it. I never really thought I could do anything with it. But as of these past 2 years, I got hurt at my job, and I couldn't work anymore, and I kind of went into this thought process of what can I do to make money?
Yeah.
Without having to depend on anyone else at my job or anything like that. And I looked at my turntables because I've already had them, and I was like, you know what? Let's do it. And that's when I came at you, and you like I said, you have so many theories. You look into like the whole advertisement thing and the sales and how to put yourself out there.
Advertising, marketing always been a big thing.
So
I always love doing that.
You're the one that helped me with the contract, like making my first contract. I think that was one of our first steps, right? Contract, setting pricing, actually making ads on Facebook, making that work, having a
social media,
having a schedule like what to post on social media. You actually created a lot of my other social media that I would have never got, like Mixer.
Yeah, we just got TikTok also.
TikTok,
it's a big one.
Twitter,
LinkedIn,
Twitch, all
Mixer,
types of stuff that I would have never, but that's what you put me on, and that's dope. Where did you find out how to do all that?
Complete honesty, I just figured it out. I winged it since the beginning. I started my company about seriously around December, honestly, this past December, and I started social medias. I didn't talk to anyone. I didn't ask any questions. I was just like, I'm just gonna fucking do it. See what happens.
So besides you helping me out with my DJ stuff, what is your company?
I sell retro video games. So there's a big market for that. Video games, consoles, anything else, everything related to that. Also, I have a YouTube channel right now. So that's building a brand, community, things like that. So I do that, and I also help you. Technically, I guess an agent per se, you can say. So I help you with gigs, your marketing, and everything like that. Yeah. Yeah.
So what you learned all this on Game Mark? You tried all these methods that you shot to me on your own business side, selling video games, selling everything, and you sell it for a good profit, right? Like you get them for like a cheaper price, and then you resell them for higher, right?
Yeah, I get it for I have connects, so once you're in the business for a while, you kind of meet people, you meet connections, and from that, you can buy stuff for really cheap because you know people, you buy them in bulk, and then that just keeps going up.
What correlations? What's similar between the two industries, is the DJing and what you do in selling video games?
There's a big difference actually.
It's a difference then.
There is a big difference actually. There's some things that I didn't know when we went into it that I had no idea you had to do when it had to deal with customers. Because honestly, I go through Amazon.com now. Before I used to just do OfferUp and stuff, so I dealt with clients and customers, and they're always cheap. So I kind of steered away from that and just went to online. But when it came to DJing, that's more it's a whole different world. Like you deal with brides, grooms, um, party planners, like all that stuff. So they have a price that they have in their mind that they want to do, and in actuality, like obviously we need more money. We need the price to go up in order to pay for our equipment and things of that nature. But at the same time, you just have to adapt and find the marketplace. Yeah, because you can price it as a certain price and it'll work for a certain amount of time, and then the price will just change. So you just gotta adapt all the time. It's a lot of adapting. With my business, I didn't really have to do that, honestly. I would set a price and find out what my competition is on Amazon or something, find the lowest price for my product depending on how it is, like if it's used or if it's complete with the manual and everything. Then I see the lowest price and then just match it or around that, and it sells right away. But yeah, DJing is a whole different world. You got to get into the pricing, the meeting the clients, contracts, everything like that. So there's a lot more into it. But honestly, yeah, like there's a lot of stuff I brought to it, like the social medias. I didn't think that. I thought you already had all that, but honestly, I think you only had Instagram, what we said earlier. So we went into Twitter, Twitch. We started streaming. We're getting into YouTube. Just building a bigger community, because honestly, I think that's the biggest thing. Content-wise is like the biggest thing. You need content. If you don't have content, then I mean, there's nothing to show. You can say you're a DJ. Anyone can do that. They can just post on their Instagram and be like, "Oh, I'm a DJ," and then that's it. But no one's gonna hire you. You got to put yourself out there, put all your work out there, and then let it speak for itself.
Yeah, man, it's a trip because you listen a lot to Gary Vee, right? You follow him, and
Yeah. He has a lot of good content.
you take a lot of his stuff that he does, and you take it to the heart, and you actually pull through and pull it. Like one of them would be content. Having content, like always, it doesn't matter what. Like before, I used to be shy about putting content because I'm like, who's gonna care about me posting this? You know, like, or I don't want to look stupid posting this, or this isn't good enough, or it doesn't look packed enough, or this routine isn't great enough. But you're the one that, well, from what you hear, like Gary Vee and all that, but you were the one that actually pushed me to be like, you know what? Just post it anyways. It doesn't matter if it's good or bad. It's still content.
Yeah, it's content. No matter what, it's not gonna hurt you in the long run. Yeah, I watch a lot of his videos. He's pretty insightful. He gives you a lot of tips, but at the same time, you kind of have to put that in your own way. Like you got to do your own thing. You can't really just follow someone blindly and just be like, "Oh, I'm just gonna do whatever he says." Like content, what he says honestly is post three different things a day, and that's very difficult to do without like a cameraman following you around, or there's a lot of different things into it. You would have to outsource a lot to push that much content, um like yeah, like I post once a day. I try to, for the most part. I have a schedule, and I put us on a schedule also for the DJ company. So that's a big part of it. Content's a big part of it. Of course there's pricings. You have to adapt. Like right now, like the season might be down for DJing, so you have to adapt to the pricing because the demand is lower. So it just depends, honestly.
And on your situation in your business, what can you say? What the pricing on video games? How does that come to be? Like, how do you know that one video game is more expensive than the other, or it might even be the same video game, but it's just a different version of it is better? What sets the price on that?
You just have to research it a lot. eBay is a big one that people research on. But since I have them on Amazon, I kind of just go through that marketplace. Like, I search it on there. So if I find a game, like, I've been doing it for so long, I can look at a game and then just see how much it costs, just right off the bat. Like a Nintendo game, a cartridge, if it has a manual, if it doesn't. Usually if it has the manual and the box for certain games, then the price goes up. And if you just have the game by itself, obviously the price goes down. But yeah, I look at Amazon the most. eBay, sometimes it's lower prices compared to Amazon, But I mean, Amazon's worldwide, so people pay more for the free shipping and the Prime and all that. So honestly, it just depends.
Is the market profitable? Like, do you make good money off of these? Like any sale that you
Yeah,
might do?
my margin's pretty high. But you gotta work for it. You gotta find it at thrift stores. You gotta make connections. You gotta like see where you can find supply. Because in the beginning, it was very good to find supply because I wasn't pricing as low as I wanted to. And then once I was like, you know what, I wanted to sell faster. I priced everything lower. So then everything started selling, and I was like, you know what, why don't I just keep it high, and then see what happens. So I kept it high, and everything sold pretty fast still. So I was like, okay, that's cool. Now the problem was I needed more games because I kept running out. So everything would sell. It would be pretty cool, and then business would be running, and then I'll run out of games, and I'll be like, where do I get games from? So then I had to make connections. Thrift stores is big. I mean, it's really easy. It's just flipping. Like anyone can do it, honestly. You just got to put the work into it. Like people, little kids make a lot of money selling just flipping sneakers, like shoes.
Oh yeah, that's a whole
Yeah,
that's a whole market.
yeah, that's a different market right there. But I mean, it's easy in that sense of just buying something for cheap and selling it for more money. You know, it's the same thing. But
Going back to content, like me, I'm just assuming you're selling video games, so all you're gonna have is pictures of video games. What else do you do for content?
content wise, stream retro games. I'm into that right now. Just building a community, anything related. It honestly it doesn't even have to be related to your company. It can be anything. You can be streaming video games for content, like me. I can be streaming my life, vlogging, just everyday life, just anything that people would. You just have to give value to people. That's it. That's content. What can you provide value to someone else that they would want to watch? You know, like if you have that, then they'll be like, "Oh, this is really cool. Who is this guy? What does he do?" And then that's when they go into your company. They'll be like, "Oh, he's a DJ. Well, I like his content, so he must be pretty good. Let me look him up." You know, and it just goes from there. Like it's just brand awareness. Like the more content you have out, the more you're just gonna have more like people watching you. It's just attention.
When did you decide to do this? Because you have a full time job, right?
Yeah,
You're a security guard.
yeah. I'm a security guard.
So when did you decide to take this and be like, you know what, I'm gonna take this serious, and I'm gonna try to sell as many video games that I got, and I'm gonna try to become my social media to make it larger and make it grow.
Well, honestly, I started selling just in general around like middle school. That was around the time when I was just playing video games, didn't really care about anything. Never really went out, but what I would do is like FIFA was a big game I used to play with all my cousins, everybody. FIFA, NBA 2K, that's a shit. That was my game. I wouldn't even play the game. I would do like my player, but what I would do is I would just sell contracts. Like I would buy contracts for cheap or players, and then flip them on the actual video game
So
marketplace.
you're not even playing the video game
Yeah,
as
I'm
a
not.
player.
Yeah,
You're doing it more as a manager.
kind of, but honestly, I was just doing it for the experience of. I just love flipping stuff. Put it
Yeah.
that way. Yeah, like I'll be like, oh, I'll buy all these teams that look really cool, and everyone will tell me, oh, this team's cool, and I wouldn't even play with them. I'll just have them. Why? Because I love buying contracts and the grind of like, oh, I'm gonna buy this contract, sell it for cheap, and then flip my money, double my money, triple my money, and then with all that money, I'll just buy better players. I'll just do it that way instead of just grinding the game, playing it. So I always love just buying, and I don't know, I just love the process of like just flipping stuff. It was pretty cool to me since forever. Yeah, I never really thought of it like that because before it was just like, oh, I'm just playing video games, like, oh, it's cool. And then I never thought of it that I never even played them. I was just doing the marketplace part of it. And I was like, oh, that's fun to me. I love doing that.
Did you have any struggles when you first started selling video games?
Yeah, there's a lot of struggles. Honestly, when I got started, I was just selling. I think I just sold one on OfferUp. I was just like, oh, I'm gonna check it out. I don't need it. It was a copy. I forgot what it was, but I just sold it, and it sold pretty fast. And I was like, oh, maybe.
Well, yeah, offer up. It sells very fast, but they want to give you like $2 for something that's $20.
Yeah, that ended up being the problem, because then I was like, I can make this into a thing, you know, like this is a thing. So I was like, okay. Then I started posting all my games, and that was a problem. People started like lowballing me, like, oh, can you do $5 when I posted it for like 30?
Yeah,
like,
no, the offer up community is lowballers like crazy.
Yeah, that's how it is, man. Let Go, offer up, they're all like that. So I expanded Let Go, and I thought that was really big at the time. I was like, I'm expanding to a different app, Facebook Marketplace also. But later on, I started noticing they're all the same thing. They're all kind of the same people, like low ballers. They have to be local, so obviously you have a limited amount of people that you can reach. So I was like, okay.
Well, nowadays, offer up, you can ship.
Oh, this was before that started.
Okay.
Yeah, I started noticing that when they were doing that, but I was already past offer up and all that by that point. And I don't really know if they're trustworthy when it comes to that, like how their process works, if they mess up a lot or something. I've never done it personally. I don't know if you have, but yeah, I never looked into that part of it.
Yeah, I haven't yet.
Yeah. But then I switched from all of that to Amazon, because I was like, why would I reach a limited amount of people when I can just do it online to the world? And Amazon's like the biggest one. At first I was debating between Amazon or eBay, because eBay's like that's the place to buy retro games. That's like the fucking place. Like if anyone wants to buy retro games, that's where you do it. So I was debating, and then I ended up choosing Amazon for a couple of reasons. But yeah, after that it's just been smooth sailing. Like business has been doing pretty good. That was the biggest problem though, like low ballers, things like that. Because some people, they want a game, but they don't want to pay for it. So it's like, how am I going to make money? Or they get mad at me for pricing at a certain price. It's not even that high, but they think it's too high because they want a deal or whatever. When obviously they can tell I'm a store, so, I mean, you know, that's just how it is.
Yeah. Do you find it difficult to juggle doing your own business and being dabbled in mine as well?
At first, yeah. Like doing the DJ, going into that, content-wise, like posting for you, posting for me, like stuff like that. Yeah, at first it was. I would have to put my energy into one at a time. So like if I put a lot of energy into our DJ company, then for my retro company, I wouldn't really, like, it would just be there, you know? Like, yeah, I would have games there, but I wouldn't be putting out content or marketing it or anything like that. And then vice versa, if like I switch to that, I'll kind of be a ghost, just disappear for like a month or something, and be like, you know what, I'm just doing mine real fast. But I mean, now I found a balance. I think I found a balance of like working on mine, grinding it nonstop, and then grinding for us so we can do ours. But yeah, it's different. I remember when I first came, and I was like, you know what, I want to be your agent. Let's fucking do it. And you're like, yeah, let's do it. Why not? Because you had nothing to lose at the time, right? So we're like, let's just do it.
In reality, I wasn't really getting booked like that. Only because I felt like I wasn't really trying, and I didn't know how. I didn't have an idea of how to get out there. I had an idea of, okay, get a business cards and and pass them out, you know, at bars and stuff like that. But that could only get you so far. That business card might just get thrown away, you know.
Yeah.
And I even went as far as to like record a mix on a CD and then pass them out, and that never, that never, nobody ever hit me back up on that, because that CD will be just thrown away. I mean, who really listens to CDs nowadays anyways?
That's true.
You know what I mean? So it's so it was just a process that I was just like, man, it's not getting anywhere. And to be honest, I wasn't putting as much effort on it. I was just pretty much thinking, you know what, I've been doing it for so long, somebody's bound to like me, but I wasn't putting as much effort as I should have on it, you know what I mean? And then when you came in, that's when you were like, okay, I got these other ideas, which I really liked them. And you know what? I'm going to go back to the first thing that we did do, and it wasn't contract. It was actually making the logo. And you pushed me to go make the logo with my cousin Angel. Shout out to Angel. He was the logo creator. I was there, and we finished it in about a week, but I had a vision. I drew it out, and you were like, look, I know that Angel can do it. Let's get it cracking. And once we did that, like, I kind of low-key was like, more motivated because I mean, if I'm gonna have a logo, now I have something to like.
It's legit now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
to present, and
Mhm.
now that's the face of it instead of
brand.
being just me, you know. So after we got that, that's when you started setting me up with everything and
Mhm.
how everything had to be done. Before I would just with the pricing. Like before, I was just low key, just I'll think what to charge.
Yeah, you
know
weren't
what I
really
mean?
sure. I don't think
Yeah.
we both weren't sure in the
At
beginning.
first, I'd just be like, oh, I guess I'll charge you this much, you know. But it wasn't really set. Now we kind of have it set. We have a package. We know exactly what we want. We have Alan. Shout out to Alan. He's our. He does all our video. He does all the flyers and everything just started. We had to build it from literally from nothing.
Yeah.
And then build it into something. And then you had a great helping hand in that. You did everything really, and I just had to put the work in actually being a good DJ, you know, because if I mean if we're doing all this and that sucks, then that's gonna just be horrible, you know.
Yeah.
What do you think we could still improve in this?
There's a couple things. I was looking into TikTok ads. That's a big thing right now. I don't know if you've seen them because you've been on the TikTok ad, but like once you get on it, immediately they'll just pop up on your phone.
I haven't, to be honest with you, I haven't really been on TikTok like that. I did. One of my homegirls' kids, well, two of them actually helped me create it, and after that, I just started posting the regular videos that we usually post on Instagram that get pulled down because we use other people's music, and on TikTok it will be okay because that's exactly what it's for, to put music.
Yeah.
So I didn't really like dabble too much in it. Like I'm not really in it like that, but I kind of know what you're talking about, and I do feel like TikTok will blow up sooner or later. And you were right, Gary Vee did say it, and eventually we're gonna see a lot more.
Yeah, because there's a pattern. I've seen it too. Like in the beginning, if you think about it, Facebook was for little kids. Like since the beginning, it was for little kids, and then it transformed into like adults coming in, and then
Facebook
everyone started doing it.
as a college thing.
Yeah,
in like
but like
the Midwest.
yeah, that's like younger people, right? Yeah. And then it transformed into everyone. Like, why not? Like, it's if you're, how I saw it was, okay, if you're gonna have your granddaughter's pictures on there, like your like some college kid's gonna post it, their grandparents are gonna be like, oh, I want to see their pictures, right? So then they're gonna go get Facebook. I think TikTok's becoming the same thing, as like a lot of young people are getting into it. Like, it's already pretty huge, right? Like everywhere. So I mean, I don't think it's gonna do the same thing that Vine did, where it just disappeared, because that was a weird thing. I don't know why it disappeared. I'm not entirely sure.
I think that was more because it was owned by Twitter, and then Instagram got bought out by Facebook, so they kind of, and then Instagram just became, once they made videos, it was over, you know. That
Stories
was it,
and all that. Yeah.
So no, but okay, this leads me to my next question. Like, okay, people can be like, well, why do you even have a TikTok if you're a DJ? Is that gonna help you get gigs? How would that help any DJ in their career?
I think people see the immediate value in stuff instead of seeing the long term. When people say that, they don't really look to the long term of it. Like, imagine if we started big on Facebook before Facebook was a thing. Imagine how much followers you would have right now. Like, you would have hundreds of thousands by now, right? Instagram also, if you're there since the beginning, you'll be huge. A lot of people didn't want to do Instagram in the beginning either, because they were like, oh, I think Instagram wasn't big back then, right, in the beginning. So it was more like, oh, let's stick to TV ads or whatever it was back then.
Yeah, back then it was just purely photos.
Yeah,
and it, I mean, it was cool, but it was something new, so people weren't really.
Like, you don't know the value of it. So obviously, if people say that, they see the short-term value of it instead of the long-term. What I see with TikTok is, like, you'll be famous with young people, sure. Like, you'll put out music and then young people will see it. But then, what if one of them is a quinceañera and they're like, oh, hey, I seen this guy on TikTok. Maybe he can do our DJ gig, you know? There's stuff like that. And eventually, you never know. Like, maybe it does become big, like what I'm seeing it's gonna be. then at that point, their grandmas, their parents, it'll just be similar to Instagram, and then we'll be already have followers. We'll have like a following when it comes to TikTok, and from there on, it'll just be like we'll be one of the OGs.
In the TikTok game.
Yeah, and then TikTok will turn to Instagram, and we'll just be one of the big ones.
Yeah, and it's not like you have to be on there doing like dancing or doing any type of routine.
Yeah.
You can literally like make a flyer or put something. Or I was actually, this is an idea that I was gonna shoot to you.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't done it yet, but I wanted to do like the song of the week, and if they have it on there, I'll post the song of the week, and that's it. You know, it's not nothing major, but it's just a song of the week, bam, and then just post it either with me or it could be just my logo in the background with the photo, and that's it. You know.
Yeah, it's the same as you can just post pictures also. Like, it doesn't have to be videos. You can post a picture, and then it goes to slideshows, and then you choose a song, and then that's it.
Or you can make your own little effects with the slideshows.
Yeah,
too,
you can do your own thing. It's the same thing as any other platform, except it's right now it's for younger kids. Like, people take it as a Vine, which, that's what it turned into in the beginning, but I think long term it's going to adapt. Obviously, it's going to change. It has to change. I mean, it can only be like that for so long before everyone gets over it, you know? So once it does that, that's when everyone's going to be like, okay, I could post this is becoming pretty big, let me start doing it, and we'll already be ahead of them by a long shot. So, yeah, that's the point of it.
Do you think it's beneficial for a DJ or anyone to have someone like you kind of guide them through the business side of things, or do you think somebody can do it on their own?
I think you could do it on your own, honestly. If you are the business side of it and the entertaining side of it, if you're like good at both, then you can do it. But you also have to be self-aware. There's certain things when you run a business you have to be self-aware about yourself. Like for me personally, there's certain things that I know I'm not good at that I have to have someone else do it for me. Like when it comes to starting Amazon and all that, I needed a lot of help with it and returning packages, like certain things that I had no idea about that other people know better than me. So, I mean, if you're not good at business, like logistics, things like that, making contracts, everything like that, it's not bad to ask for help. Never is. Like, if you have a partner that does it, even better, because you just have to worry about your craft and then just perfect it, and that's it. And then have someone else focus on everything. Because some people, like you said, some people don't like posting on social medias. Some people think it's dumb, or they don't know what to post, or they don't have creativity, or, there's a lot of different things. So if you have someone that does it for you, then you're good. Like, that's it.
Would you be willing to do somebody else's business side of it, like a DJ, a barber, whatever the case may be? Would you be willing to offer your services to someone else?
My marketing and just building a brand by itself, yeah, I think so. It would just depend. It would have to, I would have to know if they're serious about it. At first, I think that's what I asked you. That was one of the first questions I said. If we do it, we have to be serious about it. Like, we're not gonna half-ass it, because most of the stuff that I do it, make sure I do it, and that's it. Like, there's no excuses, So as long as that's taken care of, there's always a conversation. There's always options. We'll see what happens. But, yeah, I just love doing it. So I think I'm pretty good at it. So it just depends on the type of person and what their company is. Yeah.
Do you see yourself moving forward more with the game mark thing or with the management thing?
I think I already have my future plans. There's a lot of things I want to invest in. I'm already investing in stocks. Like, you have to know some idea of your end goal. Like, you have to already have investments, understand, like, where is this taking you? What's the long run? Like, what are you doing at the end? Like, yeah, I'm selling video games now, but do I want to do this forever? Is this a thing that would lead to something else? Will I do this along with another company, or, like, what exactly am I aiming for? So I think I already figured that out. It just depends. Like, yeah, I think I already have it figured out. You just have to execute. Like, think long term. Like, yeah, some people think, like, oh, short term, I'm going to do this, and then that's it. I'm just going to make hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like, yeah, that can work out for you, but you just have to put a lot of work into it. And say you don't like doing it. Say I become a nurse or something, right? Like I finished school and I became a nurse, and then I didn't like it. And then my plan of being a nurse and then I'm fucking set like disappears. And then I look for something else. I'm like, well, what else do I want to do? Do I want to be an entrepreneur? Do I want to do something else? So always have an end goal. Like, you never know what happens. You might change your mind one day and be like, oh, I don't like doing this anymore. But just make sure you love it, because if you don't, then you're screwed.
Yeah, it sucks, and that's even for me too, man. I get to a point where I love DJing. You know,
Yeah.
that's cool. I love music. That's my whole thing. I like finding new songs, new tracks, all that. But sometimes, like, I can get discouraged, you know, because I change my mind a lot. Like, I really have a change of heart, like, all the time. What advice do you have for people like that? Like, do they have to, like, just stick to it or find something you really like?
I think you have to love the grind. Like, you really have to love it. The process of it. Like, I love going to thrift stores and waking up early and going to go record and then editing. Like, some people hate that. Some people hate, like, DJing wise. Some people hate playing for hours, standing up. Some people hate buying the equipment because you have to invest money in. Like, you just gotta love what you do. That's a big part of it. Like, if I don't love video games, then I wouldn't be doing it. I would be selling sneakers, like, easily. I can be doing something else, but I don't love doing that. Like, I can easily sell anything else that I think makes more profit or it's more bigger at the moment, but I wouldn't love it. And then I know from that, I'll probably just quit. I wouldn't want to do it. Some quote that somebody said was, if the only people that like have businesses and go through with it are people that love it. Because if you don't love it, then you're just gonna quit. That's just what it is. Like, no one's gonna put yourself through all that work and fucking stress and, like, because it's stressful. It's not easy. You can make a business and you can just say you are. Like, a lot of people do that. A lot of people say they're entrepreneurs and they just post it on their Instagram.
That word gets thrown around a lot.
Yeah. A lot of people throw it around and just, like, it means nothing unless you're doing something about it. Like, yeah, you can just say it and then, yeah, you'll get clout or whatever. But, I mean, if you're really, really part of the grind, then you'll fucking do it. You'll love it. Yeah. Just what it is.
You say you had investments in stock. Tell me about that. I didn't know nothing. I didn't know anything about that. I still don't know anything about stocks. I didn't know you were involved in it. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. I got into stocks because of my homie Jose. Shout out to Jose. He gave me a lot of tips. He told me a couple apps. He told me how to get into it. I never really cared about it at like in the beginning, but over time I kind of figured. That's when I was thinking long term. I was like, so what am I going to do? Like, end goal, am I just going to, like, what's my plan? So I got into stocks. What I'm investing in, mostly, it's esports. So a lot of esports types of stocks. Yeah, just mostly what it is. It just surrounds that. Because I'm pretty sure esports is going to be pretty big. Technically, I think it's kind of rivaling, like, NBA attention. Like the seats and all that, the pricings. I think it's getting up there. So it just started like a couple of years ago. So I mean, it's only gonna keep going up, honestly. So it's gonna be bigger than sports at one point, and by then, my stocks should be good. But the big thing about stocks is you just invest into what you like what you know. Like, I'm not gonna invest into something weird that I don't know. You know, like, there's a lot of stuff that I can invest in that seem cool because people say, oh, invest in this, but just do what you know, because that's honestly going to be the best route for you. If you just do it just because it's cool or whatever, that's not going to work out, because you just got to know what you're investing in. Like, PlayStation's one that I invest in. Part of it's because of the VR. They're going into that more than a lot of other consoles, so I think that'll be pretty big. It just depends. There's a lot of ways to go about it.
How do you invest in that? Do you go through a certain app?
Yeah, I have a couple apps on my phone. If you guys want to check them out, give me a second. Let me find it.
Yeah, because I've always been interested in that, but I wasn't really too sure on what to invest in. And I'm gonna be quite honest. I was actually I had a thought about investing into the weed business, the marijuana business. Legal marijuana is gonna come up, and even the growing part in it, and factories that produce the chemicals for its soil, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And but I just never really knew how to get into it, and I've been afraid of putting money. Okay, so I have this thing where I if I pay something, I should be receiving something back. And if I don't receive anything back, then I just lost money. You know what I mean? That's my thought process. I know it's not a right thought process to be in, but that's just how I think. That's how my brain is functioning. So, how do you do it? Like, what do you actually do? How do you go through the process?
First, research what you want to go into. Like you said, marijuana stuff. There's certain stocks that you can look up, or like the top 100 stocks and for marijuana or anything like that, and then you can see what companies have it, because you never know. There's some companies that I never thought of that are into esports that are. Tencent is a big one. That one's in China. That one owns a couple big esports companies, games, so they're pretty big in that. I didn't know that. You just have to research it. First, research it, understand like what stocks are what, and then you can go into the apps. One of the apps is Robinhood. I think it's for Apple and Android.
Yeah, I think I heard about that one.
Yeah, Robinhood's. It's all right. I mean, I started with that one. And then a big one that got me really into it was M1 Finance. That's what it's called. So you can look that up. M1 Finance. It's one of the big differences. It's kind of the same as Robinhood, but the differences is you can buy a percentage of a stock. So say an Amazon stock is $100 a share. Instead of having to buy the $100 for that one share, you can buy a percentage of it. So say you only have like $10, you can put in $10 and you'll buy 10% of the share, and then you can just keep building up until you get that one share with how many shares you want.
So you don't have to be with money, or you don't have to be rich in order to invest in
No, you really
the stock
don't.
market. That's another misconception that I thought. It's like, man, you need a lot of money to invest to make money, because I can't just put these $5 in and then receive like a dope turnaround. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not really like flipping. It's kind of like a long process, like longevity. Cause even I'm very impatient sometimes too, which is bad. But like I'll see it in perspective of, oh, I put in X amount of money, and I've already tripled my money in like a couple months. Imagine if I put in 100,000, then I would have like 300,000. Like that kind of perspective. But in complete honesty, just do what you have. Like, don't go broke about it. That's pretty bad. Like, if you just put in your last $10 and you're like, oh, I'm gonna be rich.
On some casino stuff, yeah.
Yeah, it's not how it works.
Hit the jackpot.
But just look up M1 Finance. That's a really good one to start off with. They teach you everything, how to do everything. And yeah, that's it. Just look up what stocks you want, and then see how much they cost, and start investing in it. They give you like a little plan, and you can see if you want to put money in monthly or how do you want to do it. But it's pretty simple. You don't have to buy a whole share. Like if you want Amazon's one I wanted, but it's a lot of money, and I rather own shares, because you don't start making money until, or you're not in the system of like I have that share until you buy it. So like say I wanted to buy Amazon, for how long is me to buy one share, it would take to buy like 3 shares of PlayStation or something.
Yeah.
So why would I waste all my money on that when I can be spreading it to all these other stocks and stuff?
How old are you?
23.
You see, and it's weird. I asked that question because not a lot of 23-year-olds are talking like you're talking right now.
Yeah.
You have you've reached since you were younger. I feel like you've been more into that making money process, which is really good. I mean, you might not be rich now, but you will be.
Yeah, I know it's
if you
gonna
keep
happen
going this way.
Yeah, it's not a matter of like, you just have to have that mindset. Like some people want it immediately, and I've been in that groove where I've done it once when like I was very impatient. So if you don't get it immediately, you feel like you're just wasting your time. You're like, what am I doing? But and then that's when you can get into like being depressed and shit, and then you just want to quit. You're like, I'm done. But then you think about it like, man, that doesn't make sense. Like everything that's good comes with time, so it's just a matter of time.
Do you have any advice for anyone that's trying to be like you, as in flipping, whether it's shoes, video games, baseball cards, and also any advice for anybody that's looking into getting into the management side, social media, advertisement, all that.
Yeah. For hustling, like flipping, a big thing is patience. Be patient. A lot of people think that things are given to them, but they're not. Like, there'll be some things like me selling video games. I can think that, oh, I'm supposed to make certain amount of money guaranteed, but that's not really how it works. Um, so patience is a big one. A lot of people don't have patience and they end up quitting, or they end up doing something else. Like, and then that could have been the money maker, but instead they did something else, and that didn't work out because they didn't love it. So just like if you're young right now, a big thing I would say, advice wise, if you're young, like my age in your 20s, you have so much time in the world. Like, think about it. Like all the young people that are, or anybody, 30s, 40s, it doesn't even matter. Double your age, and then tell me, do you think you'll be too old to even start a business at that age? Like right now, I'm 23 years old. If I double my age, I'll be 46. That's young as fuck to start a business, I think. Like, what, you have like, what, 60 years left? 50? 40?
I mean, anything can happen at any point in time. You know, that's
yeah,
life.
but in complete honesty, like if you're young, you have all the time in the world. So do what you love. Like, say you love sports, you love playing soccer, then do that. Play soccer. Try to be a pro. Do what you love. And if that doesn't work out, you always have time to go do something else. You always have time to go be a nurse, go do this. So a big thing is just do what you love at first, because if that ends up working out, you're going to do what you love for the rest of your life. You'll be set. Like, even like say you can choose to be a nurse or a doctor or a school teacher, anything like that, and make X amount of money guaranteed, but you don't love it, compared to me selling video games and I make a little less than that, or you never know, more, but say it's a little less, but I love it, then I'm pretty sure I'm a bigger winner than if I did that, you know? So that's a big thing. Like, for all the young people, just do what you love at first. Everything else will work out. You have all the time in the world. If it fails, and it fails, you can do something else. So that's a big one. For like manager, like marketing, social media, anything like that, just try it out. Just hit up every Instagram that you see out there. Look up anything, and like a barbershop, hit up a barbershop and be like, hey, I see your social media. You only post like once a month or something like that. Let me take care of it. I'll post for like a month free. I'll do it for free, and I'll just post one time a day about something about your business. Like, just offer your services for free at first, just for the experience. That's what I would say. That's a big thing. Just do it for free. Why? Because you're just someone just showing up out of nowhere, and you don't really have anything to give at the moment. So once you start building your reputation, building your brand, you can go from there. So a big thing is just offer your services for free or a low price, and from there get the exposure, and then just keep building, just keep grinding. You gotta enjoy the grind. Always work hard, and just make sure you're working harder than the guy next to you. That's about it.
For those who are trying to reach out to you, where can they find you?
My company is game.mark on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and my Twitch, Mixer, and YouTube Live is GameMark Experience. You can find me on there, streaming every Monday. I post thrift store videos, vlogs every Thursdays if you guys are into that. And we're going to have a website pretty soon, so if you guys want to follow our Instagram, social medias, we'll get you updated on that. And that's about it.
For sure, man. Thank you for coming, Paul Anthony. I appreciate it. And this was another episode of Injekt Podcast. That was it, man. See y'all next time. Late.
Deuces.